welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited to be filming today's video. We're going to be checking in on the 23 products that I wanted to pan in 2023. I filmed a 2023 plan to pan at the end of 2022, and we're going to talk about all the products and their status. We've got 3 months left. Oh my gosh, why is my hair in my mouth? Left before the year is over. So I'm going to share with you whether or not we think I'm going to be successful in hitting all 23 goals. Spoiler, I doubt it. If you guys are interested, stay tuned. First, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel and you like project pinning content or just chit-chatting about makeup, I'd love if you'd consider subscribing before moving on. And other than that, let's jump into the video. Okay, you guys, we'll start with the one product that broke and I literally had to throw away. So I don't know if we're counting that as like a fail or like what we're gonna count that as, but really, I don't think it's fair to count it as like a failed goal, but there's only 22 products then. But that was the Essence Metal Shock Liquid Shadow. The doe foot broke and like it was literally unusable. So that I obviously didn't complete, but I had to throw it away. So of the 22 eligible products, I have emptied out and completed 10 of them, meaning that there are still 12 left. So let's really quick recap the 10 products that I have emptied out that I set out to pan this year. We've got 2 primers. I've been super successful in panning primers this year. So I have the RMS Beauty Evolve Radiance Locking Primer. I liked this primer. It was nice. It gave a really beautiful like natural radiance to the skin, especially on days that I wasn't wearing like foundation. I did really like this. It felt a little bit hydrating on the skin, but this is quite expensive and I won't purchase it again, and I wouldn't recommend it really, just because I don't think it's worth the price. And then the second one that I wanted to pan this year and have is the Urban Decay All Nighter Ultra Glow Face Primer. I have been working my way through all of the gripping primers this year, and I primarily wear a gripping primer any day that I am going to work, or if I have a day that I'm going out and I want my makeup to last a long time, I'm wearing a gripping primer. So I finished this earlier this year. I do have one foundation empty. This is very recent. It's the Kosas Revealer Skin Improving Foundation, and this took me forever to finish. It doesn't have the best wear time, so this was not a foundation I was reaching for on an everyday basis to like wear to work, and it's not something I would repurchase now that it's empty. Like, I don't miss this. It wasn't a favorite foundation, not something I'll be bringing back into my collection. So excited to have a foundation empty for the year. Probably, let me share the next 3 are gonna be probably the most exciting empties that I've had so far this year. So I finally finished another powder bronzer. It's been over a year since I've had a powder bronzer empty, and I finally finished off the e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer. This had a pan in it going into this year. So this took me so long to finish, but I feel like I've made a good effort to cycle through my bronzer collection this year, and I do feel like I have quite a few bronzer pans in my collection. So that makes me very happy. That is an empty. I have my first ever powder highlight empty, and yes, it is a mini, but it is an empty indeed. This is Becca Rose Quartz, and I have worked on this so hard for years, and it's finally an empty. This is my favorite highlighter of all time. I do still have one in a face palette, and I know that I could still buy this under the Smashbox like umbrella, like Smashbox X Becca, and it's possible maybe I would do that because it is my literal favorite highlight of all time. I love me a pink highlight. So Becca Rose Quartz is officially an empty. And then recently I finished off the RMS Beauty Face Quad, and this feels like quite the accomplishment to me as well. This is messy, and maybe I could like scrape my fingernails in to get like a little bit more, but this feels empty enough, right? Like that feels empty enough to me. I absolutely love the shade Champagne Rosé. It is such a beautiful cream highlight, probably my favorite cream highlight I've ever used, and I would consider purchasing that cream highlight in a full size just to have in my collection. That shade specifically has been an empty, I believe, for over a year. Like, I think that was already emptied out going into this year, but I did finally finish off the other 3 shades. So the bronzer I ended up using on like my chest area, and it ends up being almost like a tanned body blur. That's like the way I've found to use like cream and liquid bronzers that maybe I'm not loving, I almost use it like a body bronzer, and I kind of loved it that way this year. And then I also finished up the Magic Luminizer and the Living Luminizer. They were fine, but not favorites. I love the Champagne Rosé. So can you tell I love pink highlight? But can we believe I have my first ever face palette empty as well, even though this is also a mini. I did finish up the, speaking of RMS Beauty, I finished up finally after literal years. This was a journey because I did not love this product, but this is the Uncover Concealer, and this is finally an empty. I ended up mixing this with foundations to get use out of this to just finish it up, but I pretty much hated every minute of it. But very happy that that is an empty, because that is something I've been trying to pan for years at this point in time. 2 lip products. Not surprised that I was able to finish these up. I finished up quite a few lip balms and lip glosses this year, but I have the the Becca X Chrissy Glow Gloss. This has been in my collection for a while. Malibu Soleil was the shade. I really enjoyed this, and this was like the gloss that never ended. Same thing with this one. Dose of Colors Can You Not, the gloss that never ended. The 2 glosses that I finished up from Dose of Colors, by the end, the doe foot has broken off, but like literally there's so much gloss in the Dose of Colors lip glosses. I loved Can You Not. I've owned this for so many years. It was a really, really beautiful, very nude shade, which I really liked. You can't get this anymore, but I wouldn't go out and like necessarily repurchase this again. I do find Dose of Colors has a sticky formula, and there's just other glosses I prefer over that one these days, but excited that I finished both those glosses up. And then the 10th product that is empty and complete is my Charlotte Tilbury Glowgasm Beauty Light Wand in the shade Peachgasm. I have been like trying to pan this for years as well, so this feels so good that this is finally an empty. I do still have mini Becca glow wands in my collection, but I'm excited that I was able to finish this one off finally. Okay, you guys, so that brings us to the other 12 products. I'm going to start with the 6 products that I don't necessarily know I'm going to be successful in, and then we'll wrap it up with the 6 products that I do still believe I can finish before the end of the year. So up first we have ColourPop Ritz. I would have needed to have focused on this from the beginning of the year, and I was focused on another ColourPop Super Shock that I had been working on for years. I did finally finish that Super Shock up, but it took me years. So I should have known better than to roll in a ColourPop Super Shock. This is a really beautiful shade. I'm holding it like this because my pan keeps falling out. It still like feels really like spongy to the touch. So it's, oh, there it goes, falling out again. So it is, I still feel like has a good long life ahead of it with me. But this is not going to be an empty by the end of the year. I am currently working on this in my Partners in Cream project, so I'm working on it, but I just do not believe that could be an empty. My Kevyn Aucoin Sculpting Powder. I'm working on this in my Deca Panning Project Pan. I do have a pan finally in my repressed powder. I don't know. This is possible, but like I cannot get myself to reach for this. Although I am really close to being done with another contouring product, which I will share with you in a minute. So maybe it's possible. This is still a possibility. This is a definite not finishing. This is my NARS lipstick in the shade To Lead or Toledo, To Lead. I've barely reached for this. For some reason, I thought I included the Tom Ford mini lipstick in my collection over this. So I've been working on the Tom Ford mini lipstick in my Rolling Project 10 pan. Then I realized this was the one I selected, and I just was like, I'm gonna keep working on Tom Ford. Perhaps I can, you know, focus on this next year. So if I finish that Tom Ford lipstick, which I think I will, that will still be a win in my books. But this is a definite not finishing. Another definite not finishing is the Bobbi Brown Pink Glow Highlight. This is my second favorite highlight in my collection. And you'll notice I have a large pan in this, but I thought I was really close to pan. I thought this was like a baked product, and I could see like the baked like waffle pan, but in reality I was nowhere near pan. So I had started to like scrape what I thought was the remaining little bit left into a lotion, and then I realized, oh, like this is just the pattern of the highlight. And then I wanted to dig in to see just how deep the pan went, and the pan goes really deep. You guys, I've owned this since either 2017 or 2018, and this has been one of my most used, probably my second most used highlight in my collection, the first being Becca Rose Quartz. Like I have used this so many times, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to finish this. Like, and even with this large pan, I'm like, I still don't know if I would ever be able to finish that. But that's gonna be, we're not finishing that this year. So there's definitely 3 products that will not be finished. The other 2 that are like, I don't think so, but maybe, I have my Glossier Cloud Paint in the shade Beam. I have made good progress on this. Like, we're getting down there, but you need so little of this to make your cheeks pigmented that I just don't see myself using the rest of this up, because it's also a really beautiful peachy shade that I'm more inclined to reach for in the spring summertime as opposed to fall winter. That doesn't mean I'm not reaching for this at all, but I just don't see myself finishing that. And then I want to scoot over so like my mushroom light, would you call that a mushroom light? I want it to show a little bit more. Anyway, then I have my Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector, which I need to finish this up because I feel like this is starting to go bad. This was sitting like this in my drawer, and it must have been like a really hot day because it kind of like all melted down really interestingly. This is like, I possibly could finish this. I have been really good about reaching for this every single day, but I just don't know for sure. Like, I feel like I can, but I don't know for certain. So we're still working on that one. Okay, then the final 6 products are ones that I do believe in myself. I do believe in myself that I could finish. Actually, this next one, I'm like, can I really? I don't know. It's my second foundation I wanted to pan this year. It's the Tower 28 Sunny Days Broad Spectrum SPF 30. I have about half of this left. I wanted to pan these 2 this year because both of them have expiration dates literally on the packaging. This is expired. It doesn't smell weird, but I think it's expired because there's SPF in this, so I don't use it for the SPF. If I used this like very, very, very consistently, lots of days in every week from now until the end of the year, I do think I could finish this. This is better suited to me in the spring, summer when I have more of a tan. I do still self tan, but like it's definitely better suited in the spring, summer. But I have been mixing this with some of my lighter, like really light foundations and trying to get use out of it that way. I just don't know. I don't know. It's possible, but I don't know. I recently rolled my Rare Beauty liquid lipstick in the shade Flawless into my Partners in Cream project pan. I do think I will finish this by the end of the year. I have worked on this in years past, and I've got to be close, right? I'm gonna put a little bit over this today. Like, I've got to be close. This is a very easy, very wearable shade for every day, especially this time of year, but honestly any time of year. So I do believe I will finish this before the end of the year. It's just hard to tell where I'm at because it's opaque packaging. I also believe I will finish NARS Santo Domingo. It's going to take effort because this is a lip lacquer, so it is a little bit stickier. It does stain the lips a little bit, and it's more pink. Like, it stains them more pink than I would prefer. But I have been working hard on this. I have been working my booty off, and I do, like, this is going to be empty before the end of the year. That one will be. I also have my Stila Glitter and Glow in the shade Wanderlust. I recently like scraped a bunch of the product that was settled at the bottom all the way up. I have taken the stopper out. There's still quite a bit of product in this, but I have been really good about reaching for this, especially on days that I'm not doing eyeshadow and I'm like trying to like get out the door pretty quickly. I'll just like brush this on my lids really quick so I have a sparkle on the lid, and I kind of like this as a one shadow and done look as well. Or if I feel like my look is just looking really dull and I'm doing either like a neutral look or like a mauvey, pinky, dusty sort of look, I'll just pop this on the lids, and it really does add something special to the lids. So I'm working on this in my Rolling Project 10 pan. I anticipate this will be an empty, but it's gonna take effort. It will. My number 7 powder. I recently frankened my number 7 powder with my Dior Powder No Powder, and I thought I had less of the Dior Powder No Powder left than I did, and then I was like scraping and I was like, oh my gosh, there's way more powder than I anticipated. My repressing skills, you guys, it's not pretty. It's not pretty, but this is the number 7 powder frankened with my Dior Powder No Powder because I wanted to finish both before the end of the year, and I felt like I had very little left of Dior Powder No Powder, and then I was like, okay, we've got a lot of this to go. If I had just left this as 2 separate powders, I think for sure I would have finished the number 7, because I should have taken a picture before and after. I was like down, like we were getting close to being done with number 7 powder. but now in order to finish the powder, I need to finish all this. We will see. It is the only powder I use. It's the pressed powder that I am using just this right now, but I'm a little nervous about that. And then the final product is this Uoma Beauty dual-ended stick, and I am so proud of my progress on this. I put this product in as a challenge to myself, but when I put this into my plan to pan, I was like, this is definitely probably one of those products that I am gonna get nowhere, and at the end of the year, I'm gonna be like, meh. But this is all I have left on the contour side, you guys. I am so proud of myself. I use this just about every single day. I will lay this down before I put my foundation on top to just carve out my cheeks a little bit, and then I use it under my chin as well, and that's how I've been getting use out of this. Now, I am a little bit nervous about the highlight side because we do still have a lot of highlighter left, but I kind of want to like play around and experiment with like melting at least some of this down into a lotion to see how that goes. I've never tried that before. So my goal was to finish both sides. So I really don't know, but honestly, just finishing the contour side will feel like a huge accomplishment to me. So maybe we can count this as 2 separate products because that Essence Metal Shock we had to throw away, so we could count it as like, this is 22 and 23. We could do that. We could do that. But I'm hoping to finish this before the end of the year. So those are the 22 products out of the 23 that I set out to pan this year. Obviously, I have finished up a number of other products as well. I'll link my makeup rehab series down below in case you're interested in checking that out. That is where I share my monthly makeup empties with you guys. I am still trying to get to 100 makeup empties before the end of the year. I do think it's doable, which is very exciting to me. But that is it for today's video. I would love to know in the comments below, if you track your makeup empties, how many total makeup empties do you have so far in 2023? Let a girl know in the comments below. Other than that, thank you so much for sticking around to watch today's video and for supporting my channel as you guys always do. I appreciate you guys, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.